Hey, I'm Andy Aledort. In this edition of In Deep, we're going to continue our look at playing slide on a resonator guitar in open G tuning. Let's just review the tuning, low to high, D, G, D, G, B, and D. So if you strum across all the strings, you have a G major chord. This next example is played in the style of a great old blues song written by legendary blues master Sleepy John Estes. The song is called Brownsville, and Ry Cooder, another slide guitar master, recorded a great version of the song for his first album, the album Ry Cooder. But he came up with some different licks, so this next example is based on Ry Cooder's version of Brownsville. All right, that example was played in the style of an old Sleepy John Estes song called Brownsville. I start with this melody. So it's really kind of neat. So you can see the use of the open strings like crazy. And then the main chord kind of reminiscent of Crossroads too. Robert Johnson's original Crossroad Blues or Cream's Crossroads. Back to the lick. And then that little tag, kind of a typical blues thing to do where you add an extra bar to the 4 chord, back to the melody, five chord. And one thing I can do here is I can play octaves by picking the 5th and the 3rd string. So I went to the 5 chord. All right, that was played in the style of Muddy Waters' Rollin' and Tumblin'. So, just coming straight down the scale, and then that essential rhythm part. So I'm doing some muting with my pick hand. This is also the first example I'm using a pick because when you heard Muddy play stuff like this, he's using a thumb pick, so you do hear a pick attack. 4 chords, same, you got that melody note on top, but you're laying across. So right here, this is similar to that octave, but I'm strumming chords. Then I switch to octaves here. And then at the end there, I just add a little. All right, let's take one more look at open G tuning, playing slide. This example is along the lines of a more modern blues tune. Modern in the sense that it was recorded somewhere in the last 30 years. And Johnny Winter, for his album Raising Cain, recorded a great song called Sitting in the Jailhouse. So this is along the lines of that song. It opens up with this riff that's based off the triad at the 12th fret, and then melodic lines are built around that triad. And it's just a great example of how to use an open tuning. If you're gonna lay the slide across the strings, you're kind of combining the use of the chord with a signature lick. So that's what happens in this tune. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. I'm using a pick for this one, and I drag the pick across the top 4 strings or 3 strings, whatever you prefer. That's 3 strings. So I want this note to fall squarely on the downbeat. So remember, you got your G triad here, and here's your 5th and your 7th. And then I go to the 4 chord, which is C, and I just do your typical root 5th, root 6th, root 7th. And now down here, so it's a little tough only in that you have to get from the 5th fret down to the 1st fret quickly. 5th fret of the 1st string, 1st fret of the 2nd string. And I'm using a little bit of muting with the pick hand, just to get the notes to ring individually. Back to the 4. Five chord, which is D up here. Back to the 4 chord. And then in this tuning, you kind of have to do a big stretch to do your typical blues turnaround. So I have my pinky up on the 5th fret for the high root note. So I got to make sure that slide stays out of the way.